Hello, my friends. I just wanted to show you this world I built. I'm very proud of it. This is the very starting point where I initially started. I built it right into my whole base right into this tree. However, I found that it ended up being pretty limited, so I decided to move. But just to give you a really quick tour, it's not much I can do in it anymore because, well, I basically gutted it and there's no way up and down except to fly, and I just don't feel like doing that. But you had the entrance here. That hole right there was an elevator that allowed me to go up to other levels, which I don't have anymore, so I can't do it. Anyways, I decided to move and build that instead. Like I said, I'm very proud. It was a lot of work, a lot of materials. Sector, if I recall, is it's well over 100 blocks high. What's so special about it is I actually built it around one of those trees that I built my initial base in. Some of my trophies that I got for killing mobs. Well, technically I didn't kill them, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, I broke it off into 4 sections, 5 if you want to count downstairs. Each one of these towers has different stuff in it, well, for the most part. But we're going to start over in the processing manufactory room. This is basically the main room I work in. It has all my equipment and stuff that I use for on a regular basis. It's not automated for the most part. Well, the processing stuff is like this here. Whenever I get ore in, it automatically puts it through here, grinds it up, processes it, and spits it back out as ore, or not as ore, but as ingots, and then throws it right into my my applied energetics system, which holds all my stuff. I mean, I could just keep spinning this and spinning this, and it just goes on and on. But I'm not going to do that. It's a waste of time. These here are gears that turn on and off various things within my base and outside of my base, such as the tree farms, which are in my base, and the quarry, which is outside my base, which is supposed to be on but is broken, which is why I'm doing this before I completely finished my world, because I just did not feel like having to rebuild my quarry again. All the tools that I use, or have used, or would have used, some potions, books, various things. Shortcut outside to where I had been working using a portal gun. I'm sure you guys could respect that. Moving on to the next area. The rest of them are kind of more of a auto crafting areas. For instance, this here, though you can't really see it doing anything because I'm not building anything right now. I click into the applied energetics system, and this will pop out things that I need, such as, say, I need to build a crafting table. I click it, and this sucker builds it for me. On the other end of the coin is all the things that aren't used in a crafting table that still need to be processed, basically like raw materials and such, or in the case of industrial craft, wires, those type of things that are needed as part of a process of building bigger things, but not built necessarily in a crafting table. For instance, not the canning machine's a terrible idea. Where are they? There we are, metal former. This allows me to build the wire. Takes the ingots, pushes it through here, and pushes out wires as I need them. Fluid transposer. for when I actually need to build things. Well, okay, this is primarily just to build bog earth. And a whole lot of other things. This was for uranium that I didn't end up using because, once again, my mining rig for the overworld has failed. Underneath is where all the wiring and such gets put. The last of these downstairs rooms, not all that exciting, but I'll show it to you anyways. This is where I teleport from places. I'll be back and we'll be using that later. This is my mass fabricator. Allows me to build the armor I'm wearing. And this is where I actually grew copper berries because I had a massive shortage of copper. Okay, let's move upstairs. I'm not going to show you all the rooms upstairs because they're pretty much all alike. But I will show you. This is where all the guts are for the trees. And, well, actually let's use the one on the far side over here. It has more wire and pipe and stuff in it. More interesting looking at least. Basically the guts. This is what everything runs off of that's down below. Right up here is where the tree farms are, one of them, which I'm about to go show you as soon as we're done walking around here. Like I said, the rest of the upstairs stuff is pretty much the same on each level. A tree farm with no trees. As you can see, they were though. Well, we'll try over here then. See if that's the bog farm. Oh. There's one. I grow coastal sequoias, and I chop them down. See how it automates it? Very nice. And they will continue to grow and cut. I use the wood primarily as a source of power. We'll get to the power here in just a little bit. Got one other type of tree farm. A little less impressive than those. It's a rubber tree farm. I'm not even sure I have it running right now. I can use this wood for the same purpose, but the primary reason is to get rubber out of it. Here. Finally, let's head on. Well, not finally. Let's head on downstairs. Oh yeah, something else I'm quite proud of. I grew a tree inside of a tree. Alright, down here is my applied energistics, basically the brains of the entire setup. So right down here, everything I can do, well, nearly everything I can do is based right in this little system right here. All these lines lead to all those different machines you saw upstairs, and this here processes all that information and turns it into useful stuff. Some of the larger items or higher quantities of items I keep are held in these because they hold massive amounts. For instance, there are cobblestone, over 3 million cobblestone and growing. Some of the automated stuff that automatically, because I use a lot of these type of minerals and things, so I have it make sure that I constantly have some of them on hand. This is where I build all my chips and stuff for the applied energistics equipment. Okay. Now we will head down to the power. I mean, because all of this requires some form of power, and it requires a lot, and I'm pretty wasteful, but that's okay. It's a game. Down there, I put it. Unfortunately, in hindsight, I should have put it maybe 3, 4 levels higher than it is, because once you get down there, it is pretty hard to make out the different equipment, but you can see a pretty good view of it. I got one of my big reactors right there. I planned on expanding it, but it didn't end up working out. And then I got a couple generators. One of them's magma, and the other one is generated off of coal. It's basically a Stirling type generator. Here, I'm gonna go down and take a look. So, get a close-up look of it. There we are, the big generator. Produces, when at full strength, just over 21,000 RF per tick. It's not at full strength right now. I think it's actually on a cooldown period, because that's where all my power is. No, it's actually on a on a build-up period, so it's on its way up. And here, my steam dynamos runs off of charcoal. That's where all the wood is going to. I collect the wood. This sucker processes it into charcoal, sends it over here, and it supplies all of these dynamos with charcoal. On this side is a magmatic dynamo. Uses lava to produce power. Upstairs I produce some, but I pull a lot of mine from the nether. A lot of my lava from the nether. I planned on actually creating nuclear reactors using IC2, and I was going to build it up into this wall, try to get out of the nether fog, or not the nether fog, but the bedrock fog. And I could also, it would also be encased in blast-proof walls, just in case it decided to explode on me and try to blow everything up. But I didn't get to that because, again, my mining rig decided it wanted to stop working. It basically created a shadow of itself in front of it, which even if I destroy it, it doesn't make it continue to move. And once I load back in, it's back there again. So I mean, I could have moved the whole thing and tried to make it work, but I just didn't feel like spending that kind of time. It's a pretty heavy process, which I will show you here in just a few moments. I do have one working mining rig, and that is in the nether, and that is the one I will show you. I will have to teleport to it. Before that I do that though, since I put it right close to the ceiling of the nether, I am going to shrink down so that way I don't die. Hopefully. I still very well may die. Another quarry. Dial it once. See? This right here has created the... You know what? Hold on here. Let me do something. I will turn it on so you can see what's going on. If you're wondering, yes, I turned myself into a chicken. There is a mod in here that allows me to take the form of things I've killed, and, well, a chicken is one of the things I've killed. Okay. First very cool thing to show is when I turn this on, see, nether quarry, it will start mining. If I come over here, you will start to see with it, netherrack going up. Watch the number. Or it can make a liar out of me. There it goes. Because it's mining in the nether right now. Alright, now we will go take a look at it. That teleportation, by the way, requires a lot of power, especially from the net to go into the nether. Locally, it's not that big of a deal. But going into the nether is a pretty big bag of worms. And here we go. That rig I was standing on, and of course it just happens to be out of power for some reason. Alright, I'm going to pause and I'll be back. Okay, it looks like I finally gotten it fixed. Something was demanding a lot of power and it was completely draining the teleporter, but here we go. Here it is, and it is working. You'll watch that I will move here in a moment. There it goes. See and watch. This is how it does it. Boom. Straight down. Then it moves. Straight down. Everything it gets goes into that system and is flowed into the overworld. Leaves a big old ditch. All the way down to bedrock. Alright, moving on. Now I can grow back up again. Now I am going to take you, after I turn off the miner in the nether, because I don't really need it running. It's just wasting energy. I will take a nap real quick since it is dark outside. That was a sleeping bag I just used. And we are going to go check out basically my ag lands is what it is. This is, by the way, where I make a bunch of tools and such. You melt down metals and you can make specialized tools. Molten, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, is actually the best material you can make them out of. It requires a couple of ores that you have to get in the nether. Alright. Right here is where I farm for ink. I can actually go down and we can look at the squid. Oh, something else I didn't fix. I use that hole occasionally to do wiring and such. There it is, and you can actually see them running around in there. Those little machines are what pull the ink out of them. Then I can close it back up afterwards. Downstairs there's a mean to actually turn that on so that way it produces more. As a matter of fact, I'll show you that real quick. Those squid you see in there are actually just randomly spawned. Well, at least I thought there was. I thought I had a means of doing it. Maybe not. Oh well. Anyways, when it does roll, I mean, you just see little suckers start falling in. Here is where I actually get all my ender pearls now. These plants actually grow them, albeit slowly, and that machine there actually speeds up the process, and this harvests them when it's ready. They will grow on dirt, but they grow extremely slow on dirt. These blocks underneath it help speed up the process. And here's my nether wart where I grow it for my needs. And this, ooh, this is the coolest part of the whole thing. Alright. You can't really see it if we go down, so it kind of defeats the purpose if I was. But in here, these plants produce a seed that can be ground up and turned into glowstone. That is where I get all my glowstone. If you check out my inventory here, put in the glow, I have 24,000 glowstone, and I have 1,000 glowstone dust. It produces the dust, and I in turn turn that dust into glowstone, and that is how I've gotten so much of it. Right now I have the system turned off, but if I turn it on, we can actually see inside here. Well, it's not turned on because I have it automated. Whenever I get under 1,000, it will turn itself back on. So that's glowstone dust. Watch here. I'll take it. There. I pulled 1,000 out. And we'll go downstairs. See the seed it fell? See as the seeds fall, go in there, glow. See? And it starts going up. But anyways, it seems like a slow process, but believe it or not, it goes really fast. See all the cows? Yes, I know. Being the guy who's supposed to love animals, this is not the most humane way of holding cows. But I'm actually not using these cows for food or anything. I am just collecting their droppings so that way it could be made to help speed up the growing process of the various plants they grow, including this here. It also helps grow my trees because it produces this stuff called fertilizer after it's all said and done, after the process is done with. Go down here, we can see the infrastructure used. Right there. These suckers will process the raw sewage that they produce, and turn it into fertilizer. Oop. There's it. Right here is where all my wool is collected. It automates it. I don't have to do any. Whenever I run under, I think it's 2,000 wool, it actually will start shearing sheep. This, however, is one of the coolest things. This is actually my XP farm. These bushes here produce XP, and in doing so, turn it into a liquid which I can use to make enchantments, various other things. This is my little Botania area. I don't use Botania a whole lot, but I figured since I do use it a little, I should have things set up. This little button allows me to fill that sucker, so that way I can throw seeds in it and build the stuff that's needed in Botania. I mean, it looks cool, but I'm just not really into the magic thing. Okay, on to the other side. But we will also pass by, real quick, another power producer. This is my solar array, and it produces a ton of power. If I recall, this pound for pound is actually producing more power individually, this whole thing, than my big reactor. If I recall, this sucker is producing 32,000 RF, where my big reactor maximums out at just over 21,000 RF. I have to do conversion in this, so since this actually uses industrial craft power, but that's what these blocks are for. Alright, final and coolest side of it all. This is what I call my mob grinder side. We will come back to this. Each one of these buildings can grind a certain kind of mob. For instance, Blaze gets spawned here. I think I can actually turn that on. Well, then again, maybe not. I've automated a lot of stuff. I can. There it is. We'll go back upstairs now, so you can actually see it. Basically, what this does for me is it gets me my blaze rods, grinds them, and takes their stuff. Allows me to go in if I really want. The rest of the stuff is kind of related to the very last building, which, like I said, I haven't gotten into yet. We're going to skip that because that one is even closer related to the last building. Here is where I create emeralds. These guys are actually not supposed to be going right now. They seem to be wasting my mob essence. But since they are, what it does is when I get below a certain number of emeralds, it's supposed to flip on. For some reason, it's doing it on its own. This sucker is getting really wacky. But if I take these out, get enough of these suckers taken out. There we are. This sucker will turn on. Okay. And it will start creating emeralds. Something has seriously broken in this particular world, which is probably another reason why I am not going to continue to do it. Once this bad boy fills up, it produces an emerald block, which is equal to 9 emeralds. What you're hearing in there are dying villagers. When they die in this fashion, they actually turn into little pieces. They turn into little amounts of emerald, which builds up in this reservoir. See, filled up, emerald block, taken. Starts again. Yep, something broke. Oh, and it is night. Time to come over here and camp real quick. Sleeping bags are the bomb, by the way. Here, after I shut this, is where I get most of my mob essence. That purple stuff on the ground actually will spawn mobs when it's dark, and it spawns them fast. As you can see, these fools just keep coming and coming and get killed. See, Yes, even Enderman occasionally. But all this is to build up, with the exception of these guys, which it seems to have fixed again. Good. So that way it could spawn withers, or wither skeleton, so I can get their heads. That guy has an improved chance because of his weapon of beheading, which is what I need. This allows me to build my wither farm, which is this building right here. I will see if I can actually beat it. I've added this button. I normally don't have it here. This is normally closed because I want to be able to add it. I want to be able to spawn a wither on a queue. Most of the time this is timed, but here it goes. See, you can see the wither bar above. There he goes. He's getting killed. And he is gone. And his loot is mine. Anyways, that is about all for my world. Just, I would appreciate feedback from you guys. Tell me what you think of it. I am finished with it. I'm going to start another world after this, where I am going to use trains to do a lot of this, because I have gotten really actually kind of too comfortable using pipes and teleportation and such. I'm going to go back to the old school and actually make one that uses a lot of the trains and minecarts and stuff to actually move items around. So again, tell me what you think. Catch you later.